Obviously, the first thing you're going to need is Lord of Flies, and that is going to be located over here in the under part of the map in the Siofra River. Obviously, if you have reached Malenia, you will have reached this part of the map, so you just head right over here to this side. This portal will just take you right to where you need to go. Once you're here, you're going to want to head this way, and I will speed this up and show you exactly where the location of the Swarm of Flies spell is going to be located. You're going to find the Swarm of Flies spell right here in the cave, which is located right here on the map. Hopefully that makes it pretty easy for you to get. You probably will not need to rebirth, because depending on like the class like you selected at the beginning of the game, as long as your arcane level is 8 or higher and your faith is 11, I believe, you're going to be able to use this spell. The reason that I'm able to use this spell with a low arcane level is because you do need 16 arcane to use it, but this helmet, the silver tier mask, actually raises your arcane by 8, and thus making it pretty easy to be able to cast a spell. In order to get the silver tier mask, you are going to need to fight the mimic tier boss, which just shows up right here on the map in Nokron. So once you enter the wells, the first thing you're going to see is this area right here. You just head right through it and he's going to spawn. It's a copy of yourself. You fight him and you will get the mask. So now that you have the spell, basically you're good to go. And the reason for it working so well is because the bleed effect doesn't really require you to have a lot of arcane or faith damage scaling. You're really just getting that bleed effect to proc, and you're trying to do it as many times as possible. You can put this spell into any build as long as you have good physical negation to survive some of her poke damage and to also have the Bloodhound Step. Now, the other part of the build, which is super important, is the Bloodhound Step. I'm going to go over how to get it right now. Head over here into Kaled on the map, and at this small bridge next to the big one where the dragon is located, there's going to be a boss that spawns only at night. And if you're struggling to kill this boss, there is a pretty easy way to cheese this. I'm sure you'll be able to find a tutorial for it on YouTube somewhere. You're trying to use it to avoid the damage from her Beyblade move, where she jumps at you 3 times doing a lot of attacks, and it's very hard to survive. You can use a shield to block the damage from it, but it's not super reliable. It's probably more of a 50-50 whether or not you block all the damage or if she just kills you in one hit. The best way to avoid that move is basically just using Bloodhound Step to back up from it. That's the last key ingredient to this build. The last thing you're going to need to do is get some pretty decent talismans that'll help make this a little bit easier. The ones that I have found to be the most useful are the Dragon Crest talismans. There are multiples of these, but I'm pretty sure this is the best one. Huge shout out to 100% Guides for showing the gameplay here for the exact location of this talisman, because I wasn't recording at the time when I found mine. The other talisman that I really like to use all the time is the Primal Glintstone blade, and I'm obsessed with using this thing because it constantly makes it so that my spells use less FP, which is like super vital with longer fights, especially boss fights. You don't want to run out of FP that often when you're in there, so this is super helpful. It does lower your HP by a little bit, but as long as you're running the other talisman in order to block that physical damage, you should be good to go. In order to get the Primal Glintstone Blade Talisman, you're going to want to head over to the Stargazer's Ruins over here in the mountaintop area of the map. Another great talisman is the Lords of Blood Exaltation Talisman. This one provides a 20% damage boost as long as blood loss is in the vicinity, which means that as soon as you get that blood loss going, you're going to be getting a 20% increase in damage throughout the whole fight, which is just there's no reason not to use this. Now, this blood loss talisman can be found deep within the Leyendale catacombs down underneath this city, which you can enter through a small well just outside the lower capital church here. Down in the catacombs, you're going to run into Asgar, Priest of Blood, who drops that talisman. The last talisman that I do use is the Flock Canvas talisman, which greatly raises your potency of incantations. Once again, more damage is better here, so that's the main reason why I use it. The easier version of that talisman to get is the Faithful's Canvas talisman. If you don't want to do the entire Millicent quest line, to get this talisman, you can easily just use this one instead. One last tip with the strategy is that I actually do use pretty heavy armor here. I'm going to be basically using as heavy armor as possible without using overloaded armor, right? Whatever armor you can equip based on your endurance, as heavy as it can get, you're going to want to use that, because when you're using that Bloodhound Step, you're not using dodge, and that way you can take more physical damage. And the very last thing that I suggest is having 35 vigor or higher, just to be able to tank as much damage as possible without dying in one hit. All in all, I hope that all of this information can help you beat Malenia even solo, let alone beat it with your friends or help other people beat it. And if this video helped you guys in any way, please drop me a like. It'll help me out so much. You really don't know how much it helps. And also, you can subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Peace out and good luck beating Malenia. I mean, what? That's a GG. Don't even have to move. GG. Bro. Wow, what a fucking easy run that was. Insanely strong. Dude, first try. Oh. Yo, back to back? I'll do a little spin for you guys too.